You guys, this is so sad. This is so sad. This is a very dark moment for Kenyans. And I don't know why the government thinks it's okay for the boarding schools to still remain open while 70 kids are missing.
We
17
have
burned to ashes.
a number by Red Cross, 1199. 1199 is where parents who are having children should give that information. 1199, neighbors and community, those who are having children whom you give refuge, whom you give comfort, and we want to thank you. Please get in touch.
Last week was a very dark moment for Kenya, and it still is a very dark moment of Kenya after a boarding school caught fire and 17 kids were burnt to ashes. Yes, guys, you heard me right. 17 children were burnt down to ashes, and until now, 70 kids are not accounted for. It means that 70 kids are still missing in Kenya. Now you tell me, oh God, this is so sad. And the fact that the president of Kenya, William Ruto, will come out there and say that, oh, we declare 4 days mourning. Like, is mourning the issue right now? Should we be talking about the mourning, or should we be talking about investigating how did the fire came about? Where were the matrons? Where were the security? Why is it that the fire brigade did not come on time? Where, what? This is what we should be talking about. And I remember several years ago, I think the government wanted to abolish boarding schools, and I think this is the solution. Like, this is something we don't even have to sit down and been thinking about. If you are a parent in Kenya and you still have your children in a boarding school, small children, primary school kids in a boarding school, then I don't think you really love these kids. If something like that could happen, it's high time you take away your kids from the school. It's rather the kid to miss some lessons than for you to be called one day and to come and see ashes of your baby. Yes, those 17 were burnt down to ashes while 14 others are still in the hospital. But now the death toll has risen to 20 because more and more kids are dying. And then 70 kids are still missing and nobody knows where they are. The parents are still sad, looking for their kids. Where did they go? Like, this is so horrific. This is a very big horror. I think this is something that only Kenya should not be dealing with, because it seems that Kenya cannot deal with this at the moment. I think the international people should now mingle in this case, because it's out of hand. The fact that Kenya cannot handle this case, I am really, really sad, and I feel that it's high time the Kenyan government shut down the boarding school with immediate effect. I mean, like, should we be waiting until something? Because the other day, other breakouts happened, other dormitories, other schools, there was fire. It seems that even the kids are now scared. I think the kids are now starting to react. They are starting to even, ask for help. And the only way they can do is to do something so that the government reacts. Why do we have boarding school for small children? These children are supposed to be at home with their parents. These kids, they are so small. They should be at home. Let the kids go to day school so that you can see your kid every day. You can talk to them. You can have, time. Because when else will you have time with your kids? I know boarding schools were good then, but now at the moment, with the issue of insecurity in Kenya particularly, and the boarding school, the fact that there are so many private boarding schools in Kenya that are not even well facilitated, it's alarming. So I think that it's high time the Kenyan government abolish boarding school for students totally. I mean, they should actually abolish them, shut them down with immediate effect. This is an emergency, guys. The fact that the government sees it as a normal thing that 17 kids are burnt to ashes and 70 are still missing and boarding school are still running, that's to tell you that nobody is thinking. Like, it's so hard for this government to take action. I think Kenya should go out there and say no to boarding schools.
We have a number by Red Cross, 1199. 1199 is where parents who are having children should give that information. 1199, neighbors and community, those who are having children whom you give refuge, whom you give comfort, and we want to thank you. Please get in touch with the Red Cross at 1199 1199. Please give that information. And the media, I appeal to you to publicize this information the way I have explained, that we need parents who came for their children to give a report so that we account for them. Neighbors and the community who give our children refuge should communicate through this number 1199 so that those children can be accounted for, and then we can know exactly where we stand.
Guys, I'm still waiting to hear the news that the kids have been found, because now everyone is confused. Like, people don't even know what to say. Imagine the parents of the kids that were burnt to ashes, and imagine the parents of the kids that are still missing. How are they feeling? So the solution is to abolish the boarding schools and facilitate the school and convert all of them to primary school or to something else, because most of these boarding schools, most of them are even private boarding schools, and there is no facility. That means there is no fire alarms, or in case of emergency happens, the kids don't even know what to do. They don't know where to run to, as the door is locked and all those things. Like, how could 17 kids just burn down into ashes like that? Like, it's very alarming. It's very horrific. This is an emergency, and the Kenyan government should do something. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think at the comment section. But I think this is so sad. This is really sad.